Imagine you're standing by the river in London, and up ahead you see a giant stone castle with tall towers, thick walls, and a very old wooden bridge. Ravens fly overhead, and a soldier in a red coat and tall black hat stands guard. You're standing outside the Tower of London, a place filled with kings, queens' secrets and stories from nearly 1,000 years ago. The Tower of London is one of the most famous landmarks in all of England. It was first built in the year 1066 by William the Conqueror, the very first Norman king of England. He wanted to make sure that everyone knew he was in charge, so he built a big, strong castle right in the heart of the city. The great stone tower in the middle, called the White Tower, was finished in 1078 and gave the whole place its name. Over the centuries, the tower was used in many different ways. It has been a royal palace, a prison, a zoo, an armory, and even a place where the country's money was made. Today, it is a museum that people can visit to learn about English history. One of the most exciting parts of the tower's history is its role as a royal home. Kings and queens lived there, made important decisions, and celebrated big events. In fact, the tower was often the first stop for a new king or queen before their coronation, the special ceremony where they were crowned. Monarchs like Henry III and Edward I added to the castle to make it more comfortable and fancy, with beautiful buildings and royal chapels. In time, the tower also became known for keeping important prisoners. People who were seen as a danger to the king or queen were brought here, sometimes for many years. Some of these people were nobles, writers, and even royals themselves. One of the most famous stories is about two young princes, Edward and Richard, who stayed in the tower and then disappeared during the 1400s. No one knows for sure what happened to them, and their mystery remains unsolved to this day. Although some people were held in the tower while waiting for trial or punishment, others were eventually released. One of the most famous was Sir Walter Raleigh, an explorer who traveled to the Americas. He was kept in the tower for 13 years, during which he wrote books and even had his family visit him. Another fascinating part of the tower is the jewel house, where the crown jewels are kept. These sparkling treasures include crowns, swords, and scepters, and they are used during important royal ceremonies like coronations and state events. You can see these beautiful items on display today. The most famous piece is called the Imperial State Crown, which queens and kings wear during special occasions. It is made of gold and decorated with thousands of gems, including the famous Cullinan diamond. Guards called the Yeoman warders, also known as beefeaters, have protected the tower for hundreds of years. Today they wear bright red uniforms and black hats and act as tour guides, sharing stories with visitors. Each yeoman warder is a retired soldier who has served for many years in the British military. They know the tower's history inside and out and keep old traditions alive. You may also notice some large blackbirds walking around the tower grounds. These are the famous ravens. According to legend, which is a story passed down through generations, if the ravens ever leave the tower, the kingdom will fall. Because of this, the tower always keeps at least 6 ravens cared for by a special person known as the Raven Master. These birds are real, and today they are fed meat and biscuits, and even have their own little homes. The tower has also been used as a place to store weapons and protect the kingdom. It once held England's entire supply of weapons and armor. In fact, up until the 19th century, there was even a royal mint inside the tower where coins were made. Because it was such a strong and safe place, this made it a good place for important government work. One of the tower's more surprising roles in history was as a zoo. From the 1200s to the 1800s, the tower held a collection of exotic animals given as gifts to the kings and queens. Lions, elephants, and even a polar bear once lived there. Eventually, the animals were moved to a new home in the London Zoo, but you can still see where they used to stay. Today, the Tower of London is a special place where people come from all over the world to learn about English history. It is a World Heritage Site, which means it is protected because of its cultural importance. Each stone of the tower has a story to tell, stories of kings and queens, battles fought, decisions made, and moments that changed history. One famous quote from Queen Elizabeth I helps show what the tower has meant through the centuries. When she was a young princess, she was held in the tower for a short time. Later, when she became queen, she visited the tower again. She said, "Much suspected by me, nothing proved can be." This reminds us that the tower was a place of great importance, where hard decisions were made and history happened. So next time you see a picture of the Tower of London or visit it in person, remember that it's more than just an old building. It's a place where the story of England unfolded over hundreds of years. From royal crowns to curious ravens, the tower continues to fascinate and inspire people today. The Tower of London teaches us that history is not just about kings and castles. It's about how people lived, the choices they made, and how their stories are remembered. Whether it's the bravery of the Yeoman warders, the mystery of the missing princes, or the gleaming beauty of the crown jewels, the tower reminds us to stay curious, keep learning, and always ask questions about the past.